what's up, man? This your boy D with On the Porch, and we back again. We uptown chilling, and today I got a real special guest here today, man, chilling with me on the porch. And look, y'all, he got some stuff. Let me just say, he got some stuff to get off his chest. You know what I'm saying? He got some stuff to get off his chest. I met the brother. I didn't meet him, but the first time I saw the brother, he was at Household of Faith. He came through, brought a word there, and I'm talking about it's hard for me to like really get and be like, oh damn, okay, this brother know what he's talking about. And I was like intrigued by him since. But then to find out that he's into the music, he's doing spoken word, and he's doing a great thing, him and his band, and they keeping it. They touching on all aspects of life, not just one thing. They music touch on everything. And I'm just glad the brother came sit down with me on the porch today. We're gonna sit out here and we're gonna dive deep into some things, y'all may like, y'all may not. But from what I know, from what I didn't talk to him before we got started today, I loved it. Yeah, y'all know how I love this kind of talk. So without further ado, man, I wanna thank my boy, Reaux for real, come and sit on the porch, but I'm gonna call him Reaux. You know what I'm saying? We gonna call him Reaux.
We uptown, we chilling, bro.
I'm gonna call him Reaux. Thank you, Reaux, for coming sit on the porch, brother.
Big dog.
No problem, man. So look, we gonna dive right into it, right? We're gonna get right to it, Reaux. First off, everybody just wanna know. You're not from here. You're not from New Orleans. So we just want to know from just starting off, what brought you to New Orleans? What brought you here? What kept you here? And what did you see in the city that made you say, you know what, I can make this home?
Let me tell you, your watchers and your viewers, sometimes my answers may not be what you want, because I believe everything is strategic, you know, and how you say it. You know, I'm a very spiritual person, you know, so I don't believe that we're designed to be in a place. There are some people who read the Bible and they just read the Bible. No, I actually read the Bible in context, you know. And in the Bible it says, for the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. When somebody says they want to move somewhere, they see a better opportunity for them there. You have to let those people go and do what they are compelled to do, because you don't know if it's God that's moving them there and for what reason God is moving them there for. If the earth is the Lord's, then God can plant us where he needs us to be planted, to use us how he needs us to be used in that season. I'm born and raised in Louisiana. New Orleans has always been a piece of my heart. My mom can tell you when I was a kid, I used to tell her, it's only two cities I'm gonna live in. It's either New Orleans or New York, one of the two, you know. And she would say, why? And I would say, because I don't know, Mama, you're a country girl, but I'm a city boy.
Right.
You know, I want to be where there's action, where there's lights. I want to be where there is a culture. I want to be, and I would tell my mama this when I was a kid, you know. So I was born in Monroe.
Okay.
I spent the majority of my life in Shreveport.
Okay.
Shreveport would always have a place in my heart. My gifts were cultivated in Shreveport.
Right.
You know, my children were born there. But I moved to New Orleans after Katrina. I'd already been coming to New Orleans a lot anyway, you know, performing spoken word, and I perform and tour down here a lot anyway, so it was like a second home to me anyway. But after Katrina, we moved down here to help rebuild the city. I just never went back, you know. And people always say, man, you're gonna leave. I had a house on the lake and a Range Rover, and it's like, you're just gonna start over and just move. I'm like, well, I don't see it as starting over. I see it as this is the direction that my spirit is moving me in. And there is a place for me here, and there are people here that could use my light as if I can also use their light.
Right.
What people don't know about New Orleans is that New Orleans is more than just Mardi Gras. You know, there is heart here. You know, people care about this culture, about this history, about what it means, what it brings to the world.
Yes, sir.
Food ain't just going to eat here in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of love that go inside making these meals, man. There's a lot of family history. Grandmother's recipes been passed down and making this stuff the way the world loves what we do here. You know, even in the music, you know, it's not just, oh, they playing some band playing. No, this is heart. These bands play all year long. These second line bands, this is a way of life here, dude. It's a culture.
Right.
And when you are part of something and you are drawn into it and there's something pulling you there, it becomes a piece of you. It becomes a part of who you are, and you in some kind of way take on its identity. So I've been planted, and it's where I'm growing.
Okay, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, because that's what I do as part of this show. Like I said, my main thing was when I started the show is always New Orleans is more than just Bourbon Street, Mardi Gras drinking.
We don't even go down there.
That's what I'm saying. We don't even go down there.
When my friends come in town, they say, where you want to go? They say, well, we want to go to Bourbon. I'm like, hit me when y'all leave.
Yeah. Look,
because I don't hate it, but I mean, we see this every day of the week, you know. So it's like, let's go to Frenchman.
Yeah, let's go do something different. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we don't even do that down here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, it's so much more. And the people that make this area, that make this thing roll, they got so much more in them. So much in them, you know what I'm saying? And that was the whole purpose of this show. You know
I put a post on Facebook not too long ago when I was telling a lot of the people that were coming in town, I forgot what event was going on, but a lot of people was coming in town. I said, let me tell y'all something. You know, people who don't live here, my friends in LA and in Atlanta, and they say, well, I need to go eat it. I said, let me tell you something. If you want real New Orleans food, you don't go to the French Quarter. They said, what's wrong with the food in the French Quarter? There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm telling you, the real New Orleans food is in the hood.
In the hood.
At the hood cafes and corner stores and gas stations, that's where the real food is.
That's where you go.
And so I put a list of like, in the hood restaurants on Facebook. The post went viral. I've had restaurants to call me saying, man, thank you so much. I've had people to come in because they saw your post on social media, man. I shouted out Heard That. I shouted out Neo's. I'm like, there are so many other places, Broad and Banks, and so many other places in this city that can make the kind of food you want that you just may not find in the French Quarter.
And it's not knocking the quarter.
I love the French Quarter. I love it.
it.
But I'm just saying, when you live here, you've seen more and you know more about the city than people who are not from.
Right.
Let's say a gas station. I said, man, let me tell you something. It's gonna be the best gas station seafood you ever had in your life. Trust me when I tell you all that.
Bro, I be telling people, bro. People be looking at me like, really? I said, man, look, they got a few on my go hit. Where
weekly,
my mom be back there cooking. She be having some succotash back there with the
and don't sleep on these little Korean people, these little Asian people,
I'm just saying,
Broad and Banks. Let me tell you something, brother.
Man, look, that's what I'm talking about.
I had them all listening too, man.
Look.
And I had people to come, even when I had my concert, you know, people coming down and say, I went to one of the restaurants. You were not lying. Oh my God. Heard that got this thing called a Superdome. That thing was good. I was like,
bro,
man.
That's right down for listening. Look. Say, bro, look, you done messed up the last segment of the show, man. we
started talking about food. I'm a little skinny man, but I'm a fat boy inside, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You done messed up the last segment of the show, man, with the top four, bro. Look, God, dog.
It's something about this city. You start talking about food, we just lose track. We lose focus, man. Food and music can throw us off, dude. You know, we could be doing homework. You could be a college student doing homework. You could be in the house having a real financial problem. All of a sudden, you hear horns outside.
Yeah.
They second line?
Yeah. You know, let me go out there.
And your day change. Your whole day change.
Every day. Like,
we don't even need cocaine.
No.
We don't even need heroin. We don't need none of that. All we need is some good food and some good music, and we're going to turn up here in New Orleans, bro.
you ain't.
I told my homegirl that came to town, she said, how much money I need? I said, let me tell you something. You can come to New Orleans with $25. $25 will get you in the club, will get you a drink, and some food afterwards, and you might still have $2 left over. Man, it's the only city you can officially turn up for less than $50.
And look, you don't have to go to them high places. You go walk into
and you're going to have just as much fun, if not more.
Right in the hole in the wall, bro. Yeah. Go in the hole in the wall and you be good.
Bro, bullets be having a...
Oh, shit, this man.
My homeboy hit me, man. He a member of Zulu. He said, bro, you know, we're going to be under the bridge for the game. I said, man, I'm going to come check y'all out. He showed me a video. I was like, man, y'all got more people under the bridge
in the damn Superdome.
In the Superdome.
See, bro, you ain't, dude, that's...
You gotta love the city, though, bro. You gotta love the city, man.
Yeah,
and I'm grateful for people here, man, in the spoken word community and the music community, man, that have embraced me since I've been here a while now. I pretty much say I'm from New Orleans.
Right.
But I've been here so long that I formed relationships and I've built bonds and working with organizations and things like that. And I don't care what city you in. You have to decide if you're gonna live in the city or just be in the city.
Right.
Because anybody can go somewhere and just be in the city. But
Right.
when you move to a city or if you live in a city, the city can't show you love if you don't show the city love. So you got to be a worker. You got to be involved. You got to be engaged. You got to be a part of something. You got to be inside the movement of what that city has going on.
Right.
And when you're inside of that movement gonna show you love right back. You know, so it is what it is. You know?
Right. See, bro, I'm glad you put it that way because people be thinking, oh man, New Orleans this, New Orleans that. Oh look, it's too much crime. It's too much this. It's too much. And it's like, dude, how can you be a part of the solution, or how can you be a part of helping if you just gonna sit back and not do nothing? You know what I'm saying? You gotta get out there because this city got a lot to offer.
And you have to also look at who's showing you this stuff too.
Right.
See, here I go. You're going to get me there.
No, go ahead. Now,
you got to look at who's showing you this stuff too, man. Because I always say, you know, I tell people, man, New Orleans is a majority black metro city.
Right.
Every minority metro city in America has a crime problem.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them, from Detroit to Chicago to Atlanta to Houston to every LA, every metro city in America that has a majority minority population or has a huge minority population, those cities are going to have crime problems. And you have to ask yourself why. Okay, crime is not a problem. It is a residue of a problem. It is the consequence of a need not being met. You know, when you look at crime in any city, I guarantee you, in the cities that have high crime rates, I guarantee you the education is poor. I guarantee you unemployment is high. I guarantee you cost of living is above the means of the people who live there. All these things produce crime. People don't wake up and say, I want to go shoot somebody. This is a way of life that people have harnessed and made themselves a part of because they see no other alternatives. They see no other outlets. Am I excusing it? No, crime is wrong. But I'm saying before we start saying, oh, it's too much crime, let's discuss why it's too much crime.
Right.
There's a reason why these youngsters out here carjacking. There's a reason why somebody would rather kill you to get it rather than working to get it on their own. This is a mindset that has not been targeted, that has not been reached. You know, and we're spending so much time talking about crime, but nobody's talking about programs to reform, programs to improve, programs and city ideas that will help young brothers who got great business ideas but maybe messed up in school but still deserve a chance. You know, these cats, you know what I'm saying, we don't want to talk about the real issue, that we have a city here in New Orleans, the money here is allocated to a wealthy few. And those of us who are not a part of that wealthy few, we get the pennies on the crumb of what's left over if we get anything at all. And so when you're a family, you got a family of 4 or 5 living in a 2-bedroom apartment, you barely got a job and you barely have education, all you know how to do is go out and get it how you live. When Cash Money said that years ago, they meant that. And it was powerful. Get it how you live. That's what they're doing. They're getting it how they live. Listen to what that says. It don't mean I like it. It don't mean I want to do it. It don't mean I believe it's the right thing, but I don't have no choices. You done left me with no choices here. My kids still got to eat. And since I don't have it, you won't hire me, you ain't helping me, I got to get it how I live. So we have to come up with plans to reach a generation of people, man, who have really been overlooked. We got to come up with programs. We got to press our city council. We got to press our mayor. We got to press those in leadership to not just talk about crime, but what are you doing to reform it so that it doesn't continue?
Right. So, okay, let me ask you this here. I know it's a touchy situation for some people. What you think about the recall? What's your thought on the recall? Do you think our mayor's doing a good job, adequate job, or her job, or you feel like she don't have the proper people in place to do the job? What's your thoughts on that?
This is what I think. Again, I'm an analytical, strategic thinker. You know, most people have never been in a position of power. The average person has never been in a position of power. The average person has never been a leader of something. Most of them have never even owned a business. There are decisions that leaders and people in high places have to make that are going to be unpopular. But I guarantee you, if most people had a chance to see what your boss is going through on the other side of their desk, trying to make sure you get paid this month, I guarantee you, if the kids had a chance to see what mama and daddy is going through every day of the week to make sure the lights stay on, then they would understand a whole lot better why daddy had to do that, or why mama didn't do that, or why the boss couldn't do that when I asked, or why the mayor couldn't do this when we wanted it, you know. And so I say that in respect to a black woman who's doing the best that she can. You're never gonna get me on television anything bashing a sister who's doing the best that she can. Is she perfect? No. Could some things have been done better? Absolutely. But if you look at everybody's life, if I look at my own life, there's some things that I know I could have done better. There's some things that as a leader I could have done a different way. And in hindsight, I probably would go and do those things differently if I had the opportunity. But I choose to look at the fact that, this woman kept us safe during COVID. A lot of people didn't like her decisions and what she did, but she made our numbers go down. With that same drive that she has, with that same passion, with that same attitude, we praised her for keeping our city safe. Crime picks up when the city opens back up, and these same people throw the same rocks at her that they threw at Jesus, because he was a savior 1 minute, and 2 days later, 3 days later, these same people was tearing him down, because people don't understand all that takes place behind the scenes as a leader. I'm pretty sure Mayor Cantrell has probably sat down and said, you know what, man, I screwed that up. Okay, but I can't go back and do it over. Okay, I wish I could do this, but if I do this, this is gonna triple that. And if I do this, this is gonna triple that. And if I do this, this is gonna make that. We don't know. We don't see all of that. But there are some huge problems in this city that I feel like the blame shouldn't be all on the mayor. We got city councilmen that are not pushing. The mayor only gets so much power in the city. It's the city council who control where the money goes, where this goes, and all of that.
All this
So people love somebody to blame. We just want to blame it at her. But at the end of the day, there's a reason why the police is not doing why nobody wants to be a police officer in New Orleans, man. There's a reason why there's a shortage of Fortune 500 companies moving here to build businesses, to put jobs here. There's a reason why. One reason is because the education level in New Orleans cannot meet the standards and requirements of some of those jobs. Even if they move one of those companies here, they would have to bring people from another city to move here to work the damn jobs. Because the people here are not educated to do it. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying enough to bring those type of companies here. They would bring the company here, but the local people will complain because they're not hiring no local people. Well, you're not qualified. So it's like there are two sides that look at everything. I wish the best for Mayor Cantrell. I think overall, I think there's a lot she could have done better. But I'm not going to bash her. I think in the time that we needed her, she stood up and she did what she was supposed to do, even when it was unconventional and unpopular. But I thank her for making rules and putting things in place to keep my baby safe, to keep my family safe during a time where the rest of the world was clueless. Does she go overboard sometimes? Probably so. But I'm really not a person that points and blames a finger, because I go overboard sometimes. Okay. I go to the limit sometimes, and I overdo it sometimes. I think we all have to just sit here and say, okay, how do we fix this? Get with your city councilman and tell your city councilman, tell your representative, this is what I need you to be pushing on the school board, on the city council. This is what we need you to be pushing, and if you ain't gonna do it, we're not voting you back in no more. The mayor, your city councilman is supposed to go see. Leadership now is in every facet of our community. Leadership now is more presentation than action. It's more presentation than action. Because see, if you say you want to be a servant, a leader is a servant. You're a servant of the people. You're representing you're representing our voices. Right. So we uptown right now. So the city councilman for the uptown area is supposed to be having weekly, monthly meetings with the residents to find out what is the problem, what can we do better, and then that person's job is to take it to the city council and say, I had a vote in my district, and 80% of my people feel like this is the problem. I need funds allocated for this. And if the city council won't do it, it's that city councilman's job to press the mayor. When people are not doing their job, you can't blame one person. When people are not doing their job, it just trickles down. But we love to blame somebody. If the Saints don't win the Super Bowl, it's Drew Brees' fault. If the Pelicans don't win, it's because Zion won out. We want to blame somebody for everything, dude. Whether looking at the landscape of everything and saying, okay, this could be done better. I also could have been better. I'm not engaged. The person who's saying these things. How many city council meetings have you been to? How many times have you called your district leader? How many times have you written an email about? Probably none. None. But they'll sit back and watch a news thing and say, oh, she's stealing money. Oh, you don't even know, you're not even engaged. Be a part, you know what I'm saying? And when you're a part, then guess what? Now your voice is heard. Now your voice is heard. Now you can push people to do what needs to be done. But if your voice ain't heard, they don't know it's that big of a deal.
Right.
We can't complain about the levees and the canals until it flood.
Right.
We want to say, oh, the city flooded. Well, the city been having a flood issue. You just didn't know it until they flooded. You know, that has to be an ongoing thing. We can't say, oh, they jacking cars. Now, they've been jacking cars. You're concerned now because your car got jacked. You know, oh, it's so much crime. It's been so much crime. You're concerned now because your cousin got killed. You know, you have to stay involved, stay engaged, continue to be a voice, and press the people who are in position to do this, not just when it's a problem, but all year long.
God damn. Damn, Reaux. Shit. Reaux, you gonna make some people mad with this, boy.
I don't know why that can make anybody mad. Because,
No, I know, but
you know what I'm saying? I mean, I know what you're saying, but I'm saying I'm speaking 100. You know what I'm saying? I didn't blame nobody. I even took part of the blame myself.
Right.
You know,
right.
there are things that I could be doing better. You know, see, a city is a family, man. It's a family. You know how it is in your family if as a father and a leader of your household, king of your kingdom, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're moving your family to this direction, but you got one knucklehead kid over here that keep going to do that. And you got to stop every time to go and find him.
Go
Get him out of jail, get him out of trouble, get him out of this. Or you got that daughter that every time you can't find her, you know.
She's running behind this knucklehead.
Okay, well guess what? The family is distracted now.
Yeah.
Because you got to constantly go deal with that. A city is no different. You know, there is a city here, New Orleans. We are one big family. However, there's a part of this city that feels left out. There's a part of this city that does not feel like the head of the city even cares about their concerns. And all I'm saying is, if that part of the city wants this part of the city to care, demand it. Get engaged. Press them. Push them. Don't be silent and invisible until it's a problem. Push it all the time. Every day. If they're shooting on your block, you need to be calling your city councilman every day. They shot again last night. What are y'all doing? You need to be calling the police again. What are y'all doing? I don't feel comfortable letting my kids even go to school right now because y'all are not doing it. Press, press, press. Push, push, push. As a family, not just one person, but the whole community. Gotta press, press, press. Push, push, push until something is done. Now that's the real protest. We can stand up with signs all we want to. But if we don't have an agenda, a collective agenda that we want them to meet, nothing is ever going to be done. The next mayor will come in and it's still gonna be crime. The next police chief will come in and it's still going to be crime. Until we all find that light inside of us and say, you know what, I want to do better. I want my neighborhood to be better. So I'm gonna start being engaged. Man, I grew up in a small town, much smaller than New Orleans. I remember when they had men who would walk the street at night. And they would tell you, hey, you need to go in the house. They would walk the street and say, baby, where your mama at? Tell your mama come outside. Do you know he out here in the street? And they would make things right. They didn't wait on no police. They would do it. They knew somebody in the neighborhood was, look, keep that over here. Don't bring that down here. You know, and the men would actually patrol the neighborhood and be kind of the chiefs. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. The men would actually, that's what happened when you're on the porch, man. People walk by and be like, hey, man, good conversation, man. You weren't even in this conversation, man, but thank you. But yeah, man, I mean, we got to take responsibility for ourselves, dude. There's more that we can be doing, more than I can be doing. You know, there's a lot more. I work with kids. I work with youth. I work with colleges. You know, I'm just doing a little bit that I can. And I still think that I should be doing more,
Right.
You know.
Right. So let me ask you this here. With going in, with being part of the community, with being there, being on the front line, and making sure the city council, making sure you keeping your neighborhood accountable for what's going on in it. How much do you think the spiritual aspect plays into it?
You don't want to go there with me, man.
We on
You
the
don't wanna
porch,
go there
bro.
with
How
me,
much you think the spiritual aspect plays into this?
I will go on record and say that a lot of our pastors are not pastors.
Okay.
They are not pastors. They are celebrities, but they are not pastors. You know, and I don't care who don't like it. You know, first of all, I'm not caught up in religion.
Say, bro. Go ahead. I don't care if I get
I'm not
canceled.
caught up in
I don't
religion.
care if I get canceled. Go
I
ahead.
don't care.
Okay.
You know, I released that. I'm free from that.
Right.
You know, I decided that is not for me. You know, I released myself from the bondage, from the prison of religion.
Okay. Explain that, because we explain what you mean by religion and being spiritual and still
sure.
believing in God, still believing in Jesus Christ. But
Absolutely.
explain what you mean by you release yourself from religion.
All right, so when people ask me, they say, what are you? Are you a singer? Are you a musician? Or are you a writer? I say, I'm a liberator.
Okay.
Period. I am a liberator. Period. All the different things that I do, from writing and reality shows and singing and all of that, spoken word, all of that, these are utensils. They're tools, accessories to the gift that God gave me. You use those tools to reach people, to bring light, to inspire, to bring laughter, to bring love. That's what the tools that God give you are for. They're to improve the kingdom, to help build the kingdom. Sometimes the kingdom needs to hear about sex, because there are a lot of people who are going through sexual frustration. It may not be important to churches, but I guarantee you, half the members in that church going through, I guarantee you the men, especially if they married,
God.
are going through sexual frustration. But we don't want to talk about that.
No. We
I
leave that
guarantee you, a lot of the women in there are in relationships and still don't feel loved. They love, but they don't feel the same in return. And we don't want to talk about that. You know, there are a lot of issues that religion will touch on because it helps to build religion rather than build the people. I chose to build people, and I don't need a church to do that. I don't need a platform to do that. I can build people by just talking on this podcast and sharing my heart with people. So when I say I'm a liberator, it means I believe that God is bigger than a religion. I believe that God is bigger than a faith. And I believe if the only way you can get in touch with God is by going to your church and you don't really know God. If the only way that you know to have a relationship with God is through your church, you don't really know God. Church is where we go to worship. It should be where we go to grow. It should be where we go to learn. It should be where we go to improve. But if all I'm doing is going there to get an emotional high, then that's religion. So when I say I believe in God, I believe that Jesus was the Son of God. I believe in the principles of the Bible. But I'm not going to be manipulated by religious rhetoric that have nothing to do with what God commanded us to do. We find things in the Bible and we zone in on those things because it makes what we want to say sound better, when really that ain't even what God meant. It's very interesting that God says in the Bible, there's a whole lot of commandments, a whole lot of things. He says, but I tell you what, if you don't do none of those things, bro, Jesus says, if you can love, I'm gonna make a place for you. If you mess up on all the other things, but if you can love, I will make a place for you. Spirituality is tapping into the love of God rather than the rules of God. Spirituality is being free from the mental illness of religion and being free enough to say, God accepts me like I am, and God is going to improve me where I am. God is going to make me a better person, and it is not going to be predicated on somebody else's opinion of me. That's spiritual freedom. You know, that's spiritual freedom.
Yes, sir.
There's a difference between that and religion. And people say, oh, you want to be a motivational speaker. Okay, well, that's all your pastor doing. Very few are teaching. Very few are teaching.
Well, you know you just cut, right?
I don't even care.
You know you just cut.
It is what it is,
You know you
dude.
just cut,
Very
right?
few are teaching. Very few are teaching. This is the easiest concert you can get every week.
Ooh. Free.
Free.
Walk on in. Ooh.
I'm gonna say what you like. They're gonna sing what you like.
Ooh.
And I wanna give you a good time.
Ooh.
So that you'll come back next Sunday, we can have this concert again.
Ooh.
But the churches that I support, I love my church,
Right.
Household of Faith.
Yes, sir.
You know, and they say, well, why? You be saying all that stuff about churches, but you still go to your church, you still support your church. Because I don't support my church because of a worship experience there. I support the church because I see what they do outside of Sunday. Household of Faith is always helping the poor, always giving out free food, always helping college students, always got youth programs going on. I remember after the hurricane, when all the other pastors left, Antoine Barrier was right here helping to rebuild houses and everything else.
Yes, sir.
And he has never stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Him and his wife have never stopped being advocates for the poor, being advocates for people, they've never stopped. So that's why I support that ministry. It has nothing to do with going there to shout on Sunday mornings. They have amazing worship service. You know, they have amazing praise team and all of that. You know, those are tools. They are utensils. The real gift is not that. The real gift is what's coming out of your mouth being edified in your actions. That's the real gift. Singing is a tool. It's an accessory, like a cell phone case. You know, it ain't the cell phone, it's the case. You know, a music ministry, is a praise dance ministry, a usher board, these are tools. That is not the word. You know, the word, guess what? Words are just words until they're activated. Words are just words until they're activated.
Right.
So a lot of our churches now are just shouting out words, but there is no activation. And because of that, a lot of our people are lost. Because our people want to believe in God, man. They want to have a good relationship with God. Church got to be more than just where I come to shout because, oh, he died. Yes, he did die. And I'm grateful every day of my life for salvation. It is important. But if I leave out of here and you ain't told me how to better my finances, I'm still dealing with the same bills I came in there with. If I'm having marital problems and I leave your church every Sunday, me and this girl still fighting, why am I still going here? If I still can't find a job and y'all don't have no program in the city to help a young brother find a job, why am I still here? You know, the church is an outlet. We are the arms of God, the legs of God. It's supposed to be activated. It's supposed to be action, things going on.
Right.
Again, like I said earlier, we bash the city for things that we're supposed to be doing. I mean, no sense a church on every block and we got unemployed people in our neighborhoods. You don't make no sense a church on every block and we don't have, and kids can't get an after-school program. You know, in a church on every block, and you got marital issues, and you got kids who are in the streets, and all of that, and there's no men program that's working with the youth and all that. I'm not saying there's none, because there are a lot. I'm saying that when we look at the landscape of what we're dealing with as a whole, there's more that we could be doing. If your church ain't nothing but a church you're going to just to shout, you're wasting God's time and your time. What is a shout that ain't backed up by a motivated action, a prompt to be better, to do something? And I decided a long time ago, look, I'm not conforming to religion. I can't be that person, dude. I trust God too much.
Right.
I believe the light in me, the word in me, the spirit in me is too great to put that in a box. To put that in a box. There's so many ways that God can use me. Not everybody else. He's gonna use you in a different way, but there's so many ways he can use me with the gifts, the little tools that he gave me to go out and be my light,
right?
To let my light shine. So it may be with R&B, it may be with my band, it may be with the books I put out, it may be with spoken word. I'm going to bring light wherever I am because it's the call that's on my life. Right. We got to get out of this religious box that if somebody ain't singing gospel, that they ain't called. You know, if somebody ain't doing a church play, then they can't act. You know, if somebody ain't writing a book about how to heal your heart from there are a lot of books that are healing books that may not be Christian based. There are a lot of songs that are out that may not be gospel, but you can't tell me Jill Scott, Living My Life Like It's Golden ain't a good song. You know, you can't you can't tell me India Arie, Strength, Courage, and Wisdom is not a good song. You know, I mean, I can go down a list of music that may not be considered gospel, but God got a word in that song. There's a message in that song. You know, if me and my wife, or if you and your old girl, if you and your old lady are going through an imbalance of sexuality, Shirley Caesar can't help you. Tasha Cobbs cannot help you in that. Marvin Sapp cannot help you in that area. In that area, well, all of a sudden, R. Kelly is anointed. There is a time and a place for everything. I don't expect to hear R. Kelly on Sunday morning. That ain't the time and the place for that. But when I'm with my girl one-on-one and we trying to cultivate some intimacy here and all that, I don't need to be here in the Clark sisters. You know,
I don't mean to get too much.
I'm just keeping it 100 with you, man. In that moment, Chris Brown works, Trey Songz works, Tank works. You know, they become my ministers in that moment.
Get me to where I need to get.
This is just as real as I can get, dude. You know, we got some great ministers in this city, and sometimes they are overlooked by the few who are always breaking the rules. Mm-hmm. You know, Antoine Barrier is a great leader. You know, my boy at Franklin Avenue. You know, what he has built there is something amazing, man. You know, and there are some smaller churches that I may not even know of that have great pastors. They really are hands-on with their members, and they really care about the sheep. They're real shepherds, you know, and they deserve, you know, their flowers. They deserve to be paid. They deserve to be taken care of because they're doing the work. The Bible says your gift will make room for you. So if you're operating the gift, you should be taken care of for it. I don't want a pastor who's sitting there, he can't give me a word because he's worried about if he's going to pay his light bill this week. I don't need a pastor who, you can't strengthen me because, you know, your daughter, you know, then had a wreck and you can't get the car fixed. You know, I don't want a pastor that's got so much other to worry about that he's not clear and focused enough to hear from God for what I need to hear. So that's why you have to take care of a man of God who's actually doing a good job, who's actually doing the work. Take the worry off of him so that he can be what you need.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this here. All right. With the churches, right? Is in today's world, and it's probably been like that since I was young. Cause I never remember seeing my father going to the church all the time. He just started going as I got older. How can we get our men involved? Because you know most churches are full with our women, and it's hard to get our men there, and it's hard to get them there and get them to stay. Because you know men, we think on a logical level, and we look at everything, and we don't think emotionally. We look at everything logically first.
A pastor could be in church. He could say, oh, I feel in the spirit right now that somebody over here, oh my goodness, oh, I just feel over here, somebody's got a breakthrough coming this week. There's a blessing right over here. And a woman would be like, whoo, that was for me. And a man was sitting like, come on, Doc. You got to do better than that, you know.
Right?
Come on, Doc. Come on, you got to do better than that for me, bro. They may work on her, but they ain't working on me. Men will sit in church. And we'll sit back and we'll analyze everything he's saying. If you can get a man to say, hey man, you really done got it to that man's heart. Because he ain't just gonna jump on everything. A woman, it could be never would have made it. You know, and they gone. You know, it's just, you know, they're very, and not all women, but a lot of women are emotional. They're very emotional. Right. And church is a place for that. It should be a place that you can come and release tension, release stress, and find something powerful and positive to lift your spirit back up again. But when you leave it, if it ain't prompted you to change, it was just a concert. And a lot of that ain't even to blame the church. It's people. You got to go and get what you want out of a church.
Right.
You got to, first of all, I won't even join a church if they don't have a program that I can't see myself actively being a part of. You don't join a church because he preach good. That's like marrying a woman because she got a big booty. You don't think you're going to see other big booties? That's not good enough. You don't join a church because a pastor can preach good. It's going to be a whole lot of pastors that preach good. You going to join all of them? How the old folks say, you going to join? You going to join all of them? Just because he preach good? You don't join a church because they got a good worship team. It's a whole lot of churches got singers that will sing you and make you shout. That's not good enough. You're going to join every church with a good praise team? You join a church that has a ministry where you can be active, where you can find yourself playing a role. Because as you're building and helping others, there's another ministry in that church that's building and helping you. If you're a brother and you've been to jail or whatever, you want to go to a church that has a prison ministry. That's something that you know about, something you can be a part of, and you can be an asset to that pastor. You can be an asset to that ministry because that's an area you know about and you can work and help build that area. Well, you may get to a point where you're having a marital problem and that ain't your strength. But there's another brother there who in the marriage ministry, and that's his calling. He can tell you what's going on and how to fix this and why this happened. That ain't your calling. You ain't expected to know that. You know, you're expected to work in the area where you're good at, while somebody else is working in the area where they're good at, and that's what makes a church. A church is not a building. It is the people of God. You don't even need a building to have a church. To be somebody, I say, man, You don't have a church no more? Yeah. I said, where your church at? I said, the earth
Right
is
on
the
the
Lord's
porch.
and the fullness thereof. Everywhere I am is a church.
Right there on the
You
porch.
give me 5 minutes to open my mouth and somebody gonna be blessed, dude, because the word is just in me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think we got to get to the point to where we look at church as more than just a temple of worship. Yes, we worship there, but church has to be the headquarters. It has to be the civic center again of our community. It has to be the place where our kids can get help. It has to be the place where you can go and get counseling. It has to be the place where if you need a job, somebody that can help you with a job. I watched at Household of Faith one Sunday. I watched Pastor Barrier gave away 2 cars in the service to people who had been saying they couldn't get a car. I also watched.
Yeah, I remember that.
I also
remember that.
watched
I remember that.
him.
It was 3.
It was 3, yeah.
It was 3.
I also watched the church foster a program to help people get jobs. About 30 people said they couldn't find a job, and the church found jobs for them. You know, I watched one person say she couldn't find. She had been searching for somewhere, and I'm pretty sure these people have been talking to him behind the scenes. You know, but the lady was saying that she didn't have a place to live, and the church went and found an apartment for her and helped her get into a place that she could sustain the rent every month. You know, that's a church. That's what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
That's what it, and if your church ain't doing that, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
You're just in a religious concert. You're wasting your time.
Yes.
And I'm not saying leave your. I'm not saying leave church, but I'm saying go find you a church. Let's go. I don't care if you do hair. There's some little girls in their church that need their hair done. If you cook, there's a cooking ministry. You need to be. They got a program. You need to be cooking. Find you a place to be a servant, to be active, to be a part, and then you're gonna find that church again, like we said in the beginning. If you are a part of something and you give love to that thing will turn around and give love back to you. So if you're at a church and you feel invisible, it's because you are. If you're at a church and you feel invisible, it's because you are. It's like being in a classroom. Why do teachers remember certain students' names?
Because they done.
Because they always got their hand up, they willing to help out, or they in trouble and she got to remember who they are. But whatever it is, that person stays in the teacher's face. They're a part of it. You know, you got to make yourself a part of it, and then you're going to see that church be more a part of you. A lot of people are going to church and they are a part of the church, but the church is not a part of them. You know, and that's what we got to reform right there, you know.
Man, Reaux, boy.
And music for me is just another outlet, dude. You know,
Right.
I've got songs, man, that I really, really love. You know, I got a song called Melanin. It's on my last project. No, it's on my 2 projects ago. It's talking about how the melanin in our skin is the greatest asset on earth right now. You know,
And I've been reading stuff where scientists trying to pull that out of black people.
Don't think the movie Get Out was just a movie. You know,
like that.
Hollywood is always telling us what we are not exposed to.
Exactly.
They're always telling us. We just don't pay attention,
I
man.
tell people, TV imitates life.
Life.
Man.
For somebody to write that, they've been exposed to it.
Right. No. That's what I'm saying. People in TV just don't. People in TV and movie, they don't wake up in the morning and just say, "Oh, I got a brand new idea."
No, they've been exposed
they saw
to
this
it,
some
and
kind
that
of
thought,
way.
then created this thought. You know,
they saw
it's
it.
there, man.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know, I mean, I got a lot of positive songs. I got a song about Breonna Taylor. You know, but then I'm an R&B artist.
Right.
You know, so I do have sexual songs, and I'm not ashamed of those songs. I'm not embarrassed of those songs because I know that sex is a part of life. I don't care what relationship you in. If you ain't.
Say it, man. Say it, man. Look,
You gotta let me know how far I can go.
No,
there, you
man,
know,
you can go.
I'm
Let's
being
go.
100 because I'm gonna tell you.
Say it.
You can sit there and play I didn't marry you because you was an usher. I'm not with you because you know every Bible scripture. We could have just been friends and did that. But if I'm with you and we're in a relationship, intimacy is a huge part of why we're together. Which is why when people have a lack of intimacy, the relationship goes a different way. God designed intimacy to bring 2 together. So sex is very important, and there needs to be music that enhances our sexual activity, our sexual desires, our sexual passion, our sexual freedom, the adventure of having sex. You know, and I'm not ashamed of it because I know that in life, so many people now are stressed out and frustrated sexually. And we sometimes are so religious that you don't need no cocaine. You just need a good. You just need that good jug, and I guarantee you that good jug will change your day, bro. You know what I'm saying? She come home, she's stressed out and all that. I got what you need. I guarantee you. I could change the way you feel. Man come home, he done had a hard day at work and all that. He need to be with a woman that can say, I got you.
God damn.
Rub that man back. Kiss on him the way you want him to kiss on you. Take him his mind off stress and problems and all of that and make him zone in on you. You do the same thing with him. When you go in that bedroom, you take your mind off the other things that are bothering you and worrying you and stressing you out and all of that. And you zone your attention on that person. That person becomes your complete focus in that period of time. For that hour and a half, 2 hours you in there, y'all spend time, you touch on each other, love on each other, look into each other's eyes, understand why you care about that person so much and why they care about you. See what a touch feels like, what a hand feels like. We just want to just do this. But sometimes just lay and touch on her booty and touch her thigh and let her touch on you and just be on one accord with each other. I don't care who you are. If you don't want that, you crazy.
Oh shit.
You crazy.
Shit, I look forward to every
You know?
day. Shit.
You crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
And there has to be music about that. The same way it has to be music about life, about stress, about depression. Music is an international language. You know, I'm never gonna be put in the box to where you only want to hear me saying never would have made it. That's true. But today, I made it home. Today, I made it home, and it's been a long day. You know, and I don't need Marvin Sapp right now. You know, I need Trey Songz.
Right.
You know,
I need him to come on the radio and get her worked up and get me going.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Look, I got a song on my new album called Costumes.
Yeah. I got a feeling. I already got a feeling with that costume.
See,
already.
let me tell your lady something.
Say, right, let me go ahead.
All old boy gonna do is come in the room and
Mm-hmm.
if that's what you want, is good.
Mm-hmm.
To each his own.
Mm-hmm.
But I want my woman to surprise me. I want the bedroom to be adventurous.
Right,
I don't know what she gonna do next. You know, I want her to have me wondering all week what she finna do Friday. You know, because I'm all week trying to figure out what I'm gonna do different this time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure if she like that, well, you gonna love this. You know,
Right.
While I'm thinking of ways to improve what I'm doing for you, I want her to be thinking of ways that she can improve what she's doing for me. So the song is called Costume. So the song is like, look, let's go to Fantasyland. You know, be a teacher tonight.
Right.
Whoop me. I've been bad. I need to be punished. Be a maid tonight. You know what I'm saying? Bend over while you vacuum in the floor. You know, let's play these little games. I'm gonna be the doctor tonight.
Right.
I'm gonna dress up like a doctor. I need the doctor on your body. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you look sick, babe. I got some treatment for you. I got you.
So in other words,
Have fun.
So in other words, you really like just go in there and have fun.
Have fun. Have fun.
But this
Let
is
life be what it is.
Right.
Let life be what it is. There's something to learn in every sexual encounter. I'm not an advocate for people just going out being thoughts.
No.
You know,
No. That's the thing.
I'm not an advocate of that.
You're
know.
not showing. You every time you say
I'm
say
saying
with
if
your
you're in a relationship, yes. And that
Right.
don't have to be married with me.
Right.
I'm not blind enough to believe that everybody that's having sex is married.
Right.
And I'm not going to condemn you if you are somebody that's mature enough to have a sexual relationship with somebody and you're unwed, but this is your significant other and you've been with this person a while and y'all have something y'all are brewing here. I'm not going to bash you for that because I know it's life, you know. But what I'm saying is if you're with that person, man, enjoy life.
Enjoy life.
Stop making it so hard. Enjoy life. That's what divorce teaches you. I've been divorced, you know. And you learn that life goes on. You have to find a way to just enjoy life. You have to find somebody that you can enjoy life with. Somebody that you can just remind you of the beautiful person you are.
Right.
And you remind that person of what they bring to you. And enjoy life, man. You know, I want to make music that makes people smile. I want to make music that makes people feel good about themselves. That makes people say, well, I'm going to try that when I get home.
Right.
I want to make music that makes people say, man, I like the way that he put the words in this song. I was depressed and I was going through my last breakup, but what he said in this song is everything I wanted to say to him.
Right.
You know, everything I wanted to say to him. You know, just you know what I'm saying? I want to make life music, and it don't have to be gospel because gospel is the good news. You know, so in a sense you can call it gospel because I'm giving you good news. You're gonna get something tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you good news, bro. You're gonna get something tonight. Play this song. You're gonna get something. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, you know, so it's like it's the good news. Like I want to spread light. Sometimes that's to make you dance. Sometimes that's to make you feel good. Sometimes it's to lift your spirit after a bad breakup, after a heartbreak. You know, these are all important pieces of life that everybody go through.
Man, oh, bro. Damn. Reaux, look, man, we running out of time, Reaux. We got running out of, man, bro. I need you to come sit back out here again, bro.
Yo, you good people, bro.
Look, I need you to come sit back out here again, dude.
I'm only here because you good people.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, look, dude, I value the word, I value the calling, I value my gift, and I don't believe that everybody deserves that.
Right.
And you have to put that in your mind too, that even on your TV show, even on your podcast, not everybody deserves to have your time. Not everybody deserves your conversation. Prove to me why I need to sit down with you for 30 minutes. Let me see why I need to sit down with you. What are you going to say that's going to bring light to the people who watch my show? What are you going to say when you're sitting here that's going to edify light and love and energy and positive vibes when I put you on here? Because otherwise, you're just another artist. You know, so I don't believe that everybody deserves my energy. And I've learned how to say no, the power of no. I've learned how to say no. No, I don't receive that. I don't receive that. Oh, I believe, I don't receive that. You know, I don't receive that. You know, I've learned how to say no. I've learned how to keep my spirit clean. I've learned how to keep my mind free. I've learned how to stay in a zone, and that comes from hardship. It comes from being burned. It comes from being God. It comes from ops trying to get you. It comes from all of that. And you build I guess you want to say a wall around your heart. You build a wall around your mind, a wall around your soul, your spirit, you heard me? And it's like you build that and you stick to your guns.
Right.
Say no. You know? No, that ain't for me. I ain't doing that. I'm not singing that. I'm not doing that interview. I know what she's trying to get out of me. I'm not going to go that way. I'm not going to condemn people. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bash this. I'm not going to do that. And you have to have principles for yourself. Right. You know, that this is who I am. It may not be what you like, but this is who I am. Right. I can respect anybody for being 100. Even if I don't agree, I can respect it for being 100.
Right, because
you know,
I know you
that's
show
who
me
you are.
You show
you
me
know
who
what I'm
you are,
saying?
and that's who you are.
That's why I don't bash the gay people. I don't bash, but guess what? If that's who you are, then I'm gonna have to respect you and love you for who you are. I ain't got to agree with it, but I'm gonna respect you for who you are. You know, if you decide to get an abortion, I may not agree with that. You know, but if you come up with a reason why, and this is the reason you're willing to live with in your spirit, well, I'm gonna have to respect you for that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're keeping it 100 with yourself, and can't nobody speak for you like you.
Right. Because at the end of the day, when you step up to the pearly gates, you're the only person that's gonna have to answer.
Your report card.
Yeah. That's yours.
God, I messed that up, but hey, I did do this good. You know what you meant, but God, I did do this right here though. You know.
That's your report card.
First of all, we already know we ain't finna get straight A's.
No. He already told
us you're not gonna get straight A's. So guess what? Even though I know I ain't gonna get straight A's, let me at least get some B's.
Right, because we gotta remember, he got rid of the Old Testament because he knew y'all ain't gonna be able to handle this.
Y'all can't handle this. I better give y'all the spirit.
I better give y'all something a little bit easier.
Let me give y'all access to me, because
y'all gonna screw this up.
Y'all can't handle this.
I
already know you can't handle this.
I know you can't handle this first. The old one.
Let me give you direct access to me. Now look, I'm giving you direct access to my spirit. You ain't got no excuses no more.
Right.
You know.
Because at first, look, y'all
first you had rules and priests and the Sadducees and the Pharisees.
Right.
And look,
y'all can't do that. So I'm about to change it up. And he already knew that. He already knew we couldn't have it.
That's why I say, my life now is just being the best that I can be.
And that's all he asked for.
I'm not living under anybody else's expectations of me anymore. I've released myself from that prison. I'm Mike Tyson my way out of there. You know, I released myself from that.
Right.
You know, and so there are people who are like, oh, he didn't went out there. Went out where? Into the earth? That belongs to God? That is the fullness thereof? Oh, he out there. Yeah, I am. And the only reason you know is because you see me. You see me. That means I'm doing something. You know, because if I wasn't doing something, you wouldn't see me, and you wouldn't know I was out here. You damn right I'm out here. And I'm touching people, and I'm building people. HBCUs, I'm touching people, I'm building people. Right. I'm using my music and my spoken word and those things on a whole nother level.
Whole nother platform.
from the religious box that they were put in at one time.
You gotta come back, bro. You gotta come back, bro. Look,
Parlay.
look, man. Look, we gotta get out of here. But look, we don't even know how to go in the top 4. But look, we gonna let you do it. Top 4. We always do it at the end so people can know. I like using restaurants so people can always have somewhere good to eat. And I stick to local, right? You already got your 4 local, and I know you already on it, ready to roll with it. So right here on the porch, my boy Reaux, he about to go ahead and give it his top 4.
How you doing, baby? Thank you.
Man, we on time, and this man getting people. Y'all, we on the porch. So.
She said, I love you. She said, hey, Reaux, I love you. And I'm like, thank you. You know, I mean, you gotta be 100 with people, man. She probably a fan of somebody that, you know, so I don't know that, you know what I'm saying? But for her to sit there and see this conversation and say, I love you too, boo.
This is authentic right here. Real authentic, man. I love it. I love it.
So what's the top 4? Top 4 what?
Top 4 restaurants in the city, in your top 4 in the city.
The top 4 that I eat at, or just the top 4 in the city? Like top 4 that
I'm talking about your joints.
Okay.
What you like to go? Okay. I'm talking about your go-tos, the ones where you like. You know what?
Number 1, Broad and Banks.
Gotcha. Number 2,
Heard that.
Number 3,
Neo's.
Number 4,
Mahoney's.
Number 1, Broad and Banks. They got some good gumbo in there.
That's what I get, the gumbo. I go every week to get a bowl of gumbo out of that thing, man. That little Korean lady be, man. She be tearing that gumbo up, man.
Number 1, Broad and Banks. Number 2 was Heard That. Number 3, Neo's. Number 4, Mahoney's. Man, y'all know where all those spots at. I ain't gotta give y'all the address. Y'all know where all those spots at, cause most of y'all who gonna see this show,
they already go there.
Y'all already go there anyway. Look, y'all know what it is. Man, I want to thank my boy Reaux for coming sit on the porch again.
Big dog.
Bro, I appreciate it, man. Look, bro. Hey, look. The truth. The truth.
New album dropping in October. Grand Rising.
Y'all heard it. October is coming. Look, and we ain't even get into the music, bro.
It's good. It's good. Follow me on social media. Y'all can hear that music. Sometimes conversation is music.
Right. Okay.
You know, dialogue is music. You know,
I feel you.
There's vibrations in what we say.
Right.
You know, here we go. I do believe that when God, in the Bible, when it says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Mm-hmm. You know, when it said that God created this, it's really the cosmos. I mean, a system. Mm-hmm. He created a system. The kingdom of God is a system. You know, that's what we're a part of, God's system. So in that, I do believe that the universe has been assigned and ordained and programmed to operate according to the will of God. So I do believe that when we talk, what we say out of our mouth, the things that we let out, they're connected to the universe. They're connected to God. So when I speak, I want to speak life. I want to speak something positive because I do believe that these things are all connected. Nature, the mountains, the wind, the air, the earth, the dust, all of these things are connected. Movement, it's all created by God. He created it all. The water, the land, it's all connected. There's a reason why before we had science and before we had chemistry, the old people, even on plantations, even before then in Africa, they could taste the air and tell when it's gonna wane. They can hear trouble coming. You know, they can feel a sense because it's all connected. We are so social media and computerized and programmed that we have lost. That's why before we had medicine, they had herbs and roots and things they would use because it's all connected, you know. And we are so distracted now that we pulled away from the very things that brings us together. So that's why I say I'm very strategic in what I say, because I know that when you release it out of your mouth, you put energy out there that's going to land somewhere. You know, I want what comes out of my mouth to be life for somebody.
Mm-hmm. Y'all heard it from my boy Reaux. Look, y'all heard it from my boy Reaux. Once again, we want to thank Reaux for coming sit down on the porch today. Y'all heard him. New album coming out in October. Reaux, tell the people where they could get you at.
Everything I do is Reaux for real. REAUX, the number 4 and real. However, on the music platform, Spotify and Apple and all those, it's my full name, Reaux for real. You know, but on all social media, I'm Reaux for real. REAUX, the number 4, real. You know, and you can find me anywhere. The new album drops in October. It's called Grand Rising. I'm really proud of this album, man. I'm going to some different genres on this album, man. Some pop stuff on there, man. And I'm not in the box, you know. So I'm gonna continue to shine the way that I do. I don't care if it's only 10 people or 10,000 or 10 million. You know, I'm just gonna be who I am, and those who have been called to go on this journey with me, I believe God will send them. You know, so it is what we gotta be true to who we are, bro. You know, so that's why my name is Reaux for real. You know, I used to go by Hero.
Right,
you know,
right.
So I go by Reaux for real because I took myself out of those prisons and I'm gonna be myself for real.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
I would tell myself that every day, be you. It don't matter who don't like it. Do you. And I would just keep reteaching myself every day. Be the real you. And you're gonna see who people really are.
Right.
Be the real you. And so I changed my name to Reaux for real years ago. And I've been going on that so it's my message to myself, be Reaux for real.
Damn. Y'all heard it. Look, y'all, show drop Monday. Monday, show drop on the YouTube channel, on the Porch with D and Crew, on Instagram, on the Porch Podcast, even on TikTok, on the Porch Podcast. Catch him on any one of those platforms. Show drop Monday. My dude, Reaux for real, this week. Y'all, it was awesome. Can't wait. Awesome. Holla at y'all Monday. We out this thing. Peace.
Who that?